I finally found your number. So you are my brother's current girlfriend. And I know about how you went and gave my brother a new coat for his birthday. Wait, is this Jacob's little sister? He'd been telling me about how he had a little sister who happens to be years younger than him. That's me. I am my brother's cute little sister, Chloe. And you are my brother's girlfriend, right? Well, nice to meet you, Chloe. My name's Danny, and yes, I am going out with your brother. Thank you for reaching out to me today. Huh? Do you think I want to be reaching out to you right now? You are nothing but a useless woman to my family and I, so of course I don't want to be talking with you right now. What? You're his girlfriend, and you gifted him a terrible-looking coat like that for his birthday? You've really gone and done it now. My brother has no reason to be wearing such an ugly coat as that. It doesn't even look good on him, so I made sure to cut it to frickin' shreds. That whole coat is in tiny little pieces now and sitting at the bottom of our trash can outside. What? You shredded that coat up? I made sure you couldn't even recognize that it was a coat. See what happens when you give awful presents to your boyfriend? That coat was part of a limited time collaboration of some of his favorite artists that he'd been wanting for so long now. And the price of that coat was insanely high. My brother already has a really good coat that he loves, and that's the one I gave him long ago. That's the only coat he needs. It looks wonderful on him. He has no need for your cruddy present, though, when you didn't put any thought into that coat to begin with. But, Chloe, did you really have to cut the coat up and throw it away? That was not okay of you, all right, Chloe? Huh? We have only just met, so don't you dare start calling me by my name. You really are the most audacious woman ever. What? Are we done here? Just because you've dated him for a few years doesn't mean you know everything about him like I do. I have been with my brother ever since I was born. I know every single detail that pertains to him. I know what suits him best, and I know what he needs and wants, and I'm the only one who knows all of that. Of course you've been around him a lot longer since you're both siblings with one another. And what made you think you could just start dating him without my permission in the first place? And then you went and gave him the ugliest present ever? Break up with my brother already, you frickin' witch! My brother does not need any girlfriends.
Danny, I'm so sorry about her. I know that she got a few texts from my little sister, right? I'm sure you heard about what happened to the coat as well, right?
Yeah, she went and shredded the whole coat before throwing it in the trash. Is that really true?
Yeah, I just got back home from being at work and I was shocked to see what happened. I even went through all of the effort of installing a lock on my door and locking it daily. She ended up making a duplicate of that key and used it to get in.
I never knew you had such a troublesome little sister, Jacob. You'd always mentioned having a little sister, but not someone like that.
I didn't think she was too bad at first, but I think she is way too attached to me now, and it's not healthy. Also, you can blame me in part for this, since I didn't try earlier to get her off my back.
The fact that she is so in love with you, to the point she'd do something like that to a present from your girlfriend, I think she needs to see someone about that, and soon.
Oh, you went through so much effort getting me that coat, so I'm really sorry for what she's done. Well, to tell you the truth, her being so attached to me has really been driving me more and more nuts lately. That's why I went and installed the lock on my door and everything.
Is she really that bad each and every day?
I was thinking that by locking her out of my room she'd quiet down a bit, but honestly it's only made her more sneaky. Back before I put that lock on though, things are so much worse outright. She'd go into my room when I wasn't around and look at all my schedules and memorise them. And whenever I'd get a girlfriend, she'd try to find out about them right away and start to bully them. Because of that, I've been through so many breakups that it's not even funny.
So she really isn't going to let you go without a fight?
I know. At first I thought she was just attached to me on a playful level, but things have only gotten more scary. Every time I have another woman around me, she just loses it and goes haywire. She'll sit outside my room sometimes screaming about how I can have another girl in my life when I already have her.
Dang.
The first time something like this started to happen, I chewed her out for it. But every time she only got worse and worse, and I've become so tired and complacent. Over and over again I'd find myself someone new, And then when my sister found out, she'd attack. Doing things to the girls I love behind my back, to the point they'd leave me without even saying a word. That's why I've been through 7 girls now, and all of them have dumped me.
Things have been really tough for you then.
That's why I was trying so hard this time to keep you a secret from her. I even told my parents and everyone to keep you a secret from her, yet out of nowhere she was able to find out.
So that's the reason why you never invited me over to your parents' house to hang out? I thought it was kind of wild that every time we went on dates, you were asking for us to go outside the town you're living in.
Well, I didn't want Chloe to find anything out about you, so I had to keep you far away. I promised to go have a word with her this time so that she won't bother you any more than she already has. So please don't break up with me just yet.
Don't worry, Jacob. I would never break up with you over something you can't really control.
You sure?
Of course I am. But about this mess we have on our hands, we can either keep on dating one another like nothing's even happened, or we can break up for a little bit in order to get her off my tail.
Well, since she's going to be a major problem, I'll just tell her you left me and that should settle her down. I'll make sure she believes that.
Well, I'll leave all that up to you then, and we can continue to date in secrecy. Just make sure to let me know if anything crazy happens. You really did a number on me with that punch to my face, didn't you? I had to get 6 stitches to fix that gash. This is the first time I've ever had to get stitches. What? You're still alive after all that? Hey, who the hell do you think you are acting like I'm dead? I may have been bleeding a lot at the time, but the cut was not as big as you think. But I saw all that blood coming out of you and I thought it was the end. That's because you literally punched me in the head with all your weight and caused a deep gash. I never thought that you'd come up from behind me like that, though, and punch me. I was just trying to talk with your parents about our marriage, and the next thing I know, I'm in the hospital having my face stitched up. What the hell were you thinking, Chloe? I had no other choice but to do that to you. I had just come home from my part-time job, and you were standing in my house. I was told before that you and my brother had broken up, yet you were there talking with my parents about how you'd become my brother's wife? What is all of that about? That all got my blood boiling in seconds, and before I knew it, you were on the ground. My body knew punching you like that was the right thing to do. Huh? Now, you tell me right now, what's going on here? Why did you come to my parents' house to talk with my parents about marrying my brother? You should have broken up with my brother a year ago. I'm sorry, but your brother and I faked a breakup in order to continue dating in secrecy. We had hidden our relationship to one another from you for a while now, and things really started to set in. What was that? And then I was proposed to by your brother, and we were engaged. Today, you weren't supposed to be home, and that's why I aimed to come over and have a talk with your parents. However, you came back home unexpectedly and then punched me right in the head. The store I've been working at had to close for the day. The fridge in the kitchen had broken, so all of the food we were going to sell had gone bad. That's why I had to come home. And when I opened the front door, I had to see the woman my brother should have left a year ago talking about marrying my brother. Then this was all a terrible coincidence. Had your store's fridge not broken, then all those talks could have taken place and Jacob and I could be happy. Shut up! I didn't think that much blood would come out of your head like that. I was just punching you in the head with my bag in hand, that's all. But it just so happened that I had my battery pack in my bag and that hit you the hardest. Yet just from that, you chose to let all of that blood flow out of your head. Wait, what? You're blaming me now for the amount of blood that came out of my head? I was knocked out by that punch and don't even remember hitting the ground. Chloe, I hope you understand that what you did to me was assault, right? You just committed a crime. Are you aware of that? I guess that is the case, isn't it? After you had to be taken away by the EMTs, my parents started to really dig into me with all their yelling. And I was freaking out over the amount of blood that came out of you. But you're going to forgive me for all of that, right? I happen to be the most important thing to my brother, after all. Excuse me? 6 stitches in the head isn't all that bad. You and my brother hiding your relationship from me is far worse than me punching you, so let's just agree that we're even now. I'm not going to apologize for what I did, and you don't have to either. You're kidding, right? You sent me to the hospital, yet you're not going to apologize for any of this? If I have to apologize to you, then you have to apologize as well. You were keeping a lie from me the whole time. I want you to come to me and get on your hands and knees and apologize. Tell me that you're sorry for making me punch you and that you'll never do something like that to me again. So it really does seem that you have no idea what you're in for yet. Let me just say this one last time. I am the victim to a case of assault, and you are the one who committed that assault. If I go to the police right now about this and tell them what happened, you will most likely be arrested and taken away. Do you understand? Then you would no longer be able to attend university anymore, and as for that company you plan to join, they will refuse you. What? I've heard all about you, Chloe, from your own family. You want to go and work together with your brother for whom you love so much. And that's why you've put so much effort into studying and getting your grades up. Then you were able to go and have an interview with the same company as your brother, and they gave you an offer to join them when you graduate, right? Are you trying to threaten me now? I'm not threatening you because I will not be the one carrying all this out. I'm just telling you the facts, and that's it. What you did to me is a crime, a big one. Yet you haven't even bothered to say sorry for any of it, instead asking me to come and apologize to you. I'd shut up with all that BS you keep saying and start to get a grip on the position that you're in. But wait, you would never normally just call the police over something like this, right? I'm the little sister, after all. If I were to be arrested by the police and taken to jail, you'd be making my brother very sad. Do you really think it's okay to make the man you like sad? I will most likely be telling the police, because you don't seem to quite get what you've done here. And the funny thing is, I don't think your brother would care about me having you arrested. What? So, since it's pretty obvious you just don't understand anything going on right now, I'm going to have to talk with the police. I'll let them know that you attacked me, and then you can say goodbye to your graduation and that job you were offered. This is something that has to happen, or else you will never be able to learn that you cannot act like such a dang child. Wait a second! Are you really being serious right now? I'm your fiancé's little sister, yet you're going to call the police on me? Do you have any idea how hard I've worked to make it through school and land that job offer I've been given? And do you have any idea how badly you've gone and injured me today? I was punched in the side of the forehead, pretty much, giving me a deep gash and causing me to become concussed. I was out for about 2 minutes as well, and was afraid that whole time I had to ride in the ambulance to the hospital. Don't just think that because you're my fiancé's little sister, you can get away with anything you want. I get it, all right? Since you won't stop whining about everything, I'll be kind and let you marry my brother. And that should make you happy, right? Huh? I'll let you marry my brother and become his wife, so forgive me now. You'll become my older sister then, and you can't call the police on your own family.
It's too bad I don't have a little sister anymore, though.
What?
It's people like you. When the hell are you going to learn that you can't keep acting like a bitch? Danny was being so kind just then, trying to get you to understand the predicament you're in, all while she's in the hospital and concussed.
What? Is that you, Jacob?
Yeah, your older brother that you love way too much. I now have some very important stuff to tell you, Clay. Starting today, you're no longer my little sister, as I'm cutting ties to you now. Don't call me your brother anymore, because I'm not. You're not even family to me anymore, and maybe not even to Mum or Dad anymore either.
What? Wait, what are you saying? You never cut ties to someone like me, right? Why would you even say something so scary then?
Because you've done something horrifying to my fiancé. You just attacked the most important person in my life, who I love so much, and sent her to the hospital.
Yeah, you're overreacting, Jacob. She only needed to get 6 stitches. I know there was a lot of blood, but even she said the gash wasn't that large.
You're still going on about the blood? You want to know why there was so much blood for a small gash? Because you fractured her skull. What would have happened if you hit her a little bit closer to her eye? How would you take responsibility for causing one of her eyes to go blind? Would you even be able to do anything to gain our forgiveness at that point? After something as bad as this, I won't be surprised if there are lasting effects. I'm sure she's going to have some lasting brain trauma from her concussion and the skull fracture. All Danny did was go out with me and say yes to my proposal. Yet she had to pay for that, with 6 stitches, a fractured skull, and a bad concussion. Have you seriously not realised yet just what the hell you did to my fiancée?
Jacob!
Danny is my fiancée and will someday be my wife. I will not allow someone to hurt her and still think they can be part of my family. That's why I'm cutting ties to you, and you have no damn excuses for complaining about the choice I've made.
But Jacob, you're also to blame for hiding your relationship to her from me. I know I made a mistake punching her like that, but that all happened because of you.
What the hell did you just mutter?
You lied to me about breaking up with her. That's why when I saw her in the house, I was shocked and thought she was breaking in. I didn't do anything wrong for trying to protect the family.
I see. So that's how things are going to be then. Oh, I get it, Chloe. No matter how much my fiancé and I try to help you, you're not having any of it. And are going to continue blaming Danny and I until the day you die, right?
That's right. Well, that's why we just have to say sorry to one another and things will be over with, okay? Then we can go back to being brother and sister.
No, I'm done with you.
What?
I'm sad to have to say goodbye to my only sibling, ever. So this sadness will be my punishment for hiding Danny from you. If you want for us both to be blamed for doing bad things, then we both need to be punished and cut ties to one another.
No way, Jacob.
Now, with all of that said, never freaking talk to me or Danny ever again. And don't worry about me being around Mum and Dad's house, because with this marriage, I'm leaving. Also, as long as you're in that house, I will not be coming back to Mum and Dad.
Wait, Jacob, I don't want this. I don't want to cut ties to you. I don't want my brother leaving me.
I'm not your damn brother. So don't you ever, and I mean ever, call me your brother again.
Please forgive me. I will apologize over and over again if you want, on my hands and knees even. Please, just don't tell the police about this. And please, help me get my brother back so that he doesn't have to leave me. Shut the hell up. I'm going to the police with all of this once I'm out of this hospital bed. Even your parents are telling me to have the police come and get you for what you've done. No, they're not. Also, I like the idea of cutting ties to you. After all, I don't want to live in fear that my own sister-in-law could one day come and kill me for no reason. So forget about me helping you with anything. I promise to never punch you ever again. Actually, that was the first time I've ever punched someone in my whole entire life. I just blanked out, and the next thing I knew, I was punching you in the head. That's all that happened then. That's never happened to me before and will never happen again, as long as I don't get that upset. I wonder if that really was your first time. You didn't even make a sound coming up behind me like that. And the form with which you punched me seemed very well practiced, or so Jacob has said. I don't think that was your first time at all, but I guess we'll find out for sure later. What are you going on about? Do you really think that I've gone and punched other people like that before? For example, one of Jacob's ex-girlfriends. From what he's told me, you're the reason for each and every one of his breakups. He told me that you were doing all kinds of things to them behind his back. So perhaps you've done the same things to them that you did to me this time. I would never do something so scary to them. I don't care how much you all think I'm crazy in love with Jacob. I would never hurt anyone else. I'm a weak and cute little girl. This was seriously my first time ever punching someone. I promise you that I'm not lying. So you really aren't lying to me about any of that? Well then, I wonder what this nice woman in front of my eyes right now is talking about. What? What are you talking about? Who? I actually just found out this morning that one of Jacob's ex-girlfriends is working at this hospital as a nurse. What? And, well, she came to my room to talk with me this morning. She heard about what happened to me and came to say that she too was punched in the head by you back when she was with Jacob. But she didn't want to cause any drama, so she left Jacob without saying a thing. That woman is lying to you! I have never punched any of Jacob's ex-girlfriends at night before! What? I don't know why you're bringing up the time of day it happened. What? But that kind of lines up with the story this nurse told me. She said she was walking home in the middle of the night when someone your size came up and punched her. And before you ran off again, you told her, "Break up with my brother right now." So after she got up off the pavement, she made sure to text Jacob and broke up with him. Hold on. She then went to one of her friends who had also dated Jacob before, and they all started to talk about how much you'd hurt all of them. Kind of like a therapy group of sorts. They wanted to help one another understand what had happened to them and Jacob and why things had to end up with you the way they did. Crazy that you tell me I was your first victim when it seems there are plenty of others out there. You were just saying that you promised me you had never punched anyone before, and that turned out to be a lie. Well, that was, Since this isn't the first time you've assaulted someone, I'm sure the investigation into you by the police will help uncover all the details. And once you are taken to court by not only myself, but this friendly nurse I was just with, we'll see what happens to you graduating from college and working with Jacob. No, you can't! Well then, I need to go and have another word with Jacob. He deserves to know what happened to his exes. After all, he's a victim of your abuse as well, so he's going to find some relief in hearing this. No. I'm asking you to please not tell my brother anymore. I don't want my brother being taken away from me. I never have, so I can't be blamed for becoming so jealous whenever he'd make a new girlfriend. I promise that I will never do anything again to you, so please keep quiet about this. I don't want to be hated by him any more than I already am. Sorry that I'm not like the rest of Jacob's exes and didn't just run away when you started to attack me. Now I hope you have a safe ride to the police station in a bit here. And while you're in jail for what you've done to me and this other woman, Jacob and I will be having our wedding and getting married. After that, the police arrived at Jacob's parents' house and arrested Chloe for 2 cases of assault, and she was booked at the county jail. There she had to await her trial, and when the time came, the judge told her she'd stay in jail for another 3 years and would have to pay out settlements to me and 3 other girls. A lot of those women had shown up on the day of the court hearing, and they all forgave her after she was taken away by the police back to jail. But I was not going to forgive her and made that clear by telling my lawyer to get every penny out of her that he could in the settlement. After all of that, Jacob and I made sure to use the next 3 years to our advantage and had a wedding and everything while Chloe was locked away. And so far, things as a married couple have gone better than we could have ever imagined. We also chose to change jobs and moved out of the state, so that if the time did come that Chloe wanted to come and find us, she would never be able to.
Hello there, Jenny. Randy here. Remember me, right? Must be 20 years ago that we last spoke.
Huh? Randy? Seriously? Is this some kind of joke? This is a prank, right? Why do you even know my line contact?
I saw your line info on my mom's phone and got it from there. Without her noticing, of course.
Don't tell me. It was at Dad's funeral last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I couldn't very well miss my dad's funeral. It's been 20 years since I stepped into that house. I really didn't expect my ex-wife to be sitting there grieving with all the rest of my relatives.
I had no idea you were there.
Yeah, well, my mom was pretty insistent about me keeping a low profile. As a matter of fact, she especially wanted me to avoid you.
I see. I guess your mom was looking out for me.
I thought you were long gone, to be honest. After all these years, you're still friendly with my folks? Doesn't make sense.
Well, they felt bad that their son took off, abandoning your child. All they did was help their granddaughter. Couldn't just abandon her like they did. They supported me all those years. Your daughter was sitting right next to me at the funeral. I guess you didn't even notice her, did you?
Oh, yeah, I missed that. But I really can't get over it. What were my folks thinking? Taking you in and supporting you? And for what, 20 years? My God! Sorry, but I can't accept a daughter that you gave birth to. Never happened. If she's anything like you, the first thing that came to my mind was that she probably doesn't look very smart. I told myself I could never bring up such a half-wit. Don't you remember my educational background? I went to the top Ivy school in the country. I'm what you call one of the elites. And what, may I ask, kind of school did you send her to? Your local community college, I bet.
Are you still going on about that? How many times have I told you that you can't just judge people by what school they went to?
I told you I didn't want a kid, and when you went against my will and had one anyway, you wouldn't even consider putting her up for adoption. That's why I divorced you.
Well, you made the right decision.
Yeah, you could say that again. So, that means she's 20, huh? Already an adult.
What's it to you anyway?
I'm just curious how she turned out. That didn't get a look at her at the funeral, but I'm sure she looks as dumb as you.
I'm going to warn you right now. No way I'm going to allow you to meet her. She has no father.
Don't worry. I have no intention whatsoever of being her father. Forget that.
Hey, Mom. Just finished celebrating my birthday with friends.
Happy birthday, Wendy! How does it feel to be out of your teens?
All the same, nothing's changed. A bunch of us are heading over to the mall. Would you mind picking me in about 2 hours at the entrance?
Okay, no problem. The main entrance on Lincoln Street, right?
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
What is it?
we were at the cafe celebrating my birthday, and after we finished, my friend ran into this weird guy outside. Said something to her.
A weird guy. This was just a while ago? What did he say?
Yeah, like 15 minutes ago. He asked her if her mom's name was Jenny.
Are you serious?
Yeah, guy was like in his mid-50s, dressed kind of like a bum, and smelled pretty bad. I was wondering that maybe it was Dad. Didn't he come to Grandpa's wedding last month? He sent you a line message, right? You said he was keen about my 20th birthday or something. I wonder if he stopped by to get a look at me?
Well, if the guy is in his 50s, 4 years older than me, there is a good possibility it could be him.
Oh my god. Are you serious?
Just don't be alone while at the mall until I pick you up. You got that? If by chance you run into him, just act like you don't know him and don't tell the guy your name. Do that and you'll be okay.
Yeah, got it, Mom. I'll be careful. Mom? Are you there? I think I just ran into my father.
Excuse me? You what?
Friend of mine went to the restroom and ran into this guy standing outside. The guy asked her if her mother's name was Jenny. Apparently her mom's name is Gina. I don't know, maybe she just heard wrong, but anyway, she said yes. Once this guy heard that, he started bad-mouthing her. Calling her names, calling her mom a whore, and chastising the way she was dressed. Right away, I thought it was Dad, and that he was actually talking about me. So I had to step in to help her. I mean, she was on the verge of tears. I don't know if that gave me away, that he knew I was actually his daughter, but... Anyway, I saved my friend, and we ran into the ladies' room to get away from the guy.
Oh my god, seriously? Just glad you're okay. I'm on my way over there. Just stay there until I arrive. You got that? Where's the bathroom at?
The one right next to Starbucks. Hurry up, Mom.
Just as I thought. She looked even dumber than you. But seriously, I didn't think she would be that bad. She was dressed like some call girl on 5th Street, for God's sake. You say she just turned 20? You're not serious. Are you sure she even went to high school? Right when I was talking to her, her buddy steps in and took her away. Now, if that friend was my daughter, I could forgive you. She looked way smarter and very pretty to boot.
That girl you lambasted at the mall, that was your daughter's classmate. And that pretty girl was your daughter, you idiot.
Huh? Say again?
Yeah, the girl's mom's name is Gina. Probably misheard you or something. I mean, it's not every day that some weirdo bum accosts you at the mall.
Excuse me?
Are you dense? That was not your daughter. Mistaken identity.
Huh?
Oh, and that girl you accosted? She's a college student.
What? You're kidding.
You accosted an innocent girl in public. Do you really think you'll be forgiven for chastising a young woman in public? It's the talk of the town now. People suspect that it was you. Totally embarrassing. How could you do such a thing?
Right. I was just... I thought she was...
And another thing, my daughter is a college student now too, just so you know.
Oh, yeah? Well, anybody can get to college nowadays. Like I said, probably some second-rate community college. What's she majoring in? Gender studies? I mean, you gave birth to her, and at a pretty late age of that, too. Giving birth late in the game deprives them of adequate brain cells.
Actually, she's heading to the UK next semester. Cambridge. I wouldn't say it's a community college.
Excuse me? You mean Cambridge? That Cambridge? That's one of the top schools in the world. What? Do you have connections or something? How could she get in?
No connections. Actually, she wanted to go to a local art school, but changed her mind and said she wanted to go overseas and picked Cambridge University. She applied and was accepted.
Hold on one second. How could you even afford to send her there?
Are you talking about me paying the tuition?
Yeah, a single mom like you. A woman that happily gave up a highly educated elite like myself. How could such a loser afford to pay tuition to Cambridge, for God's sake? No way you could afford to send your daughter to a university overseas. And besides...
Let me stop you right there, Randy. You're forgetting one thing.
What are you talking about?
If you recall, I was a manager at the company I was working for back when we got divorced. You do remember that time, don't you? Or are you senile already?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Well, it's been 20 years since then. Things have changed quite a bit. I'm a successful businesswoman now.
Huh? You're not serious.
Nevertheless, Wendy didn't want to be a burden and worked part-time for years to save for tuition. I think I did a pretty good job raising my daughter. And as for your mom and dad, they really felt bad about what you did to us, leaving us high and dry, abandoning your own daughter. They supported us all these years, more than you can imagine.
But I was only trying to... Hey, Jenny, are you there? Pick up ASAP. Why aren't you here? Where the hell are you?
Excuse me?
I put aside my pride and decided to get back together with you. I brought all my stuff. I'm ready to move back in with you. So, where the hell are you?
Wait. Pardon me?
I came here to the house with all my luggage and rang the doorbell. And guess who answered the door? Big muscular dude. Tattoos up and down his arms.
Randy, I have no idea what you're blabbering about. Hold it a second. Did you go to the Village Apartments down in Riverside? That old place we used to live? Is that place still standing?
Yeah, that's right. Where do you think I would go? If you're gonna move out, give me a heads up for God's sake. Man, that was embarrassing as hell. So, where are you living now? Give me the damn address. I'll hop in a cab and get over there right away.
Hey, Randy.
Boy, oh boy, I'm gonna regret getting back together with you if you keep acting like such a doof.
I've been happily married for the past 10 years.
Pardon me?
We lived there until Wendy finished junior high. We moved after that. That was like 10 years ago. Got married soon afterwards. We bought a house and have been living there with my folks ever since.
You married some other guy? Are you serious? This was 10 years ago?
Randy, what the hell is wrong with you? I mean, you abandoned your daughter even before she was born, and I haven't heard from you in 20 years, and now you want to marry me? That's crazy! Even if I was still single, no way I would ever get back with you again. You're living in Fantasyland, Randy.
Yeah, well, I was only trying to tell you the truth. I was fired from my job.
Huh? You got fired?
Yeah. We had a new employee come in. She graduated from the same school as me, so we hit off nicely, but I suppose I pushed it a bit far. Well, to make a long story short, she accused me of stalking her.
Are you telling me that you got fired for being a stalker? You were stalking one of your company employees?
Yeah, and I got kicked out of the apartment I was living at too. I couldn't cover the rent. At this age, I'm just not able to land a good job. That was about the time Dad died, and so I figured I would get a little inheritance, but it turns out he left me out of his will. I was left with nothing. I really thought it was the end for me, but then found out you were doing very well for yourself. And so I figured you could.
Hold it right there. You were hoping I would take care of you? Is that it?
Yeah. I guess it's about right.
Oh, yeah? What happened to the super savvy Ivy League success story you're always talking about? So after all these years, you managed to become a pervert. A stalker of young women, is that it? My God, what is happening to you, Randy?
I tried to.
And about your mom, she's going to enter the senior citizen home now that her husband has passed away. All she has to do now is sell the house and just move into the home. It's all set. Which means you have no home to go back to. Is that about right?
Why? Why? Why doesn't anything go my way? I graduated from an elite Ivy League school. I was guaranteed a successful life. I had it made. What did I do that was so wrong? I deserve better than this.
I think you relied too much on which school you went to and not on your character.
Huh?
Being smart and being an honorable person, it's hard to balance the two. You really should have worked on the latter. I recommend that you work on that going forward.
Hey, come on, Jenny. Let's discuss this, huh?
If you come around here again, I'm going to get my lawyer to make you pay for Wendy's child and education support, which you neglected to pay all these years. Are you ready for that?
Please. I don't have that kind of money.
Well, if that's the case, we never want to see you again. Forever. And I mean it. Forever.
Could you at least give me some money? I can't survive without some money.
Goodbye. I later heard that Randy returned to his old apartment. Apparently, he had it until the end of the month. In order to survive, he got a job as a construction worker for the time being. I hear he's just getting by. But old habits die hard, and he kept mentioning his so-called elite background, which, as you can imagine, that kind of condescending attitude infuriated people around him. Well, he certainly lost a lot of friends with such an attitude. Actually, I'm not all that surprised. If that wasn't enough, he was sued by that girl's family, the one he berated at the mall, and ended up having to pay compensation for emotional distress he caused their young daughter. All that was in a letter he wrote to me. The letter was 5 pages long. It went on and on about how the world had victimized him. I barely got through the first page before putting it through the shredder.